What's up, everyone? Michael Heath with Get Automating. And today, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to tell an agent in Copilot Studio to carry out a desktop action.
Get Automating, enhancing humans daily.
All right, in this episode, we're going to be focusing on computer use. Now, this is a preview tool within Copilot Studio. It's used to automate web and desktop applications, those that don't have an API. We're going to tell the agent what we want and have it carry out the action. Let's hop in. So here is what we're exploring today: computer use preview. This will require you to register a machine within Power Automate. Now, this is the machine that the work is going to be done on. This is the machine that the agent's going to connect to perform the work. So since we're going to be using by default, it says no. We got to change that. So we're going to go in here to edit details, enable computer use, save that out. And we've got the green check mark. We want to tell an agent to create a new invoice through our Contoso invoicing app. So I'll launch that real quick just to get familiar with it. The tab we're looking to locate here is the Invoices tab. And so we're going to be able to add in account information, contact information, amount. So essentially what we wanted to do, launch it, click Invoices, come over here to select a new record, input the data here, and then save it out. So if you're following along, you can find the Contoso Invoice app through this particular URL right here. If you scroll on down, you can see install the coffee shop Contoso Invoice app. It's always a pleasure when we get to visit the Contoso coffee shop, whether it's in Adventureland or somewhere else. But once you've configured all the prerequisites, let's hop on over to Copilot Studio. So starting off, just created an agent. It's a simple agent. I don't have a description. I didn't use the configuration tool. I do have orchestration turned on, which is essential. So we've got our agent started here. I didn't add anything else to this. We're starting from the ground up. We need to add computer use as a tool. Now, sometimes you want to pop over here, click on tools, but that's not going to work. We need to either click tools right here or scroll down and click tools, because we're going to add this tool to this specific agent. And there are some functional requirements that have to be there specific to the agent itself for this to work. So we're going to click on tools, add a new tool. And now that we're here, we'll click on new tool and we'll select computer use. All right, so here we are. If you don't have a machine registered properly, this is the time it will scream at you to let you know you need to go register a machine. I've also found if you have any dialogues up in Power Automate Desktop, sometimes that won't push this through. So just make sure things are closed down there, not exited. You want your Power Automate Desktop application open, but just want to ensure there's no looming pop-ups or dialogues. We'll click create. Right now, we're not going to use credentials. We're going to just connect to the machine directly. All right, and so for this one, I've got my machine that's connected, and then we're going to enter the appropriate credentials. Now, keep in mind the credentials you're inputting here are the credentials to the machine that's going to do the work. The agent is going to perform that work on the machine. So keep that in mind when you're selecting those credentials. All right, let's add and configure. So here we are. We've arrived at an empty tool. It's created. It's ready for us to give it a description and instruct. All right, so I'm fast forwarding just a little bit here. I've given the tool a name, Invoice Submission Agent. I've also given it a description. If we recall the fields I need in my invoicing app, I want it to submit an invoice record, which contains account, contact, amount. It launches the app and it creates the new invoices entry. A description that gives it some context as to what it's doing. Instructions. We're launching the Contoso invoicing app on the desktop. Within the app, we navigate to the Invoices tab under Document Entry folder. Must create a new record. hit the create new record button. It is the icon on the far left of the ribbon. All right, so you might be asking, why was I so specific on where that icon was at to create a new record? Well, when I ran this the first go, it kept clicking this icon here for new note as a new record. So then I thought, all right, well, we can just go to File and select New. And it really got hung up on this process as well. So finally, I ended up telling it, hey, it's the first icon here. That's what you want. And it seems to like that a lot. So remember, if you're not getting the results you need, try a different approach. Notice that we can also hit Control in here, and by far that would probably be the most reliable, but for whatever reason today, it doesn't want to work. So we are specifying exactly where this icon exists. This is new, it's preview, so I've had some issues getting data that I submit through the agent to pass through to the application itself due to responsible principles of AI. Microsoft is working on this. It is in preview. And this is something that's very similar to what Copilot Studio was when it first dropped. So to avoid the agent failing from the instructions, I've added if data is sensitive, use dummy data. It's a quick fix for now. No, we aren't getting our data into the application, which is sort of the point, but we also want to see this thing working. And in time, I promise you, this will be fixed. So we enter the data into our fields, hit the tab key to commit, and then save. Speaking of save, don't forget to save if you modified anything on the screen. All right, so we're still in our tool, keep in mind, not our agent. What's really cool here, though, is we can test out our tool. Instead of going full blown into our agent and testing, we can check out what our tool's doing right here. All right, establishing the connection to the machine. Computer use session was initialized. We can see Contoso right here. It's launching the app. All right, so here we are, and we can sit here and watch this whole thing to test, but it is going to be a lot like watching the sloth at the BMV from Zootopia, if you catch that reference. But essentially, this is what we're doing, selecting each part that we need to complete the task. All right, so pretty happy with that. Play around with it. Once you get that in a spot, move back over to our overview tab. All right, so here we are on our agent overview screen. We created our tool, we gave it a name, description, instructions, gave it context, but now we need to give our agent context and instructions. So that's exactly what we will do. So notice here, we're going to add the instructions. We can add our tools and topics and more right here. So use this to your advantage. I'm going to fast forward this a little bit here, paste it in, but I'm going to come back here to this launch and we're going to reference the tool that we created. So always ask the user for details if not provided. If the user is wanting to submit an invoice, you will need to ask for account, contact, and amount. We launch the invoice submission agent. Even if you don't call upon the tool, you'll want to reference this by name and then let the user know the entry has been completed. We'll go ahead and save that out. Now we're ready to test this agent. All right, so we come in here, we'll activate the agent. Now we're going to activate the invoice process. Need to submit an invoice, searching through knowledge. What does it need next? Okay. Tells us it needs our account, a contact, and an amount. So we'll give it that, and off we go. And we've launched our app. And this is what it looks like on screen. Notice it hits document entry first, and then it auto corrects itself to invoices. It'll then head up to create a new record, and it's slightly off here, but then again, it hops over, hits the create new record button. All right, we got our sample account name in. Let's hop back over to Copilot Studio. We've got our account here entered. It's now entering the amount field. It's pressing tab, tabbing out of it, and it's going to issue a save there, confirming the actions. So computer use complete. We've got our record saved to the Contoso Invoice app. Wow. So I am really looking forward to this space that Microsoft's exploring. Computer use, not without some bumps to be expected. It's a work in progress. Once a few of these roadblocks are removed, though, and the pace of execution is improved, maybe near real time, I could see this really opening up some doors to possibilities. Looking forward to showcasing this feature as it grows. Until next time, get automating.
Get automating, enhancing humans daily.